This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, and welcome to Her Story, the show to encourage more women to explore the possibility of using their skills and talents by participating in leadership roles within our community. I'm Tiffany James, and I have the pleasure of hosting this program. This program encourages women in our community to actively engage and use their voices to bring attention to issues they are passionate about, with the hope that we will all get more involved. Please welcome my guest, Jessica Hastings-Lesperance, co-owner, marketing visionary, director of operations, and realtor at the Terry Hastings Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Realty Centers. An inspiring entrepreneur, real estate investor, coach, speaker, and two-time Amazon #1 best-selling author, Jessica's influence extends far beyond real estate. She hosts the $1 Million Podcast and has been featured on major media outlets, including podcasts, real estate TV talk shows, and the New York City Journal. With her insights published in various magazines, she was recently recognized as one of Canada's top fitness instructors for 2023 by Impact Magazine and CanFit Pro Fitness Professional of the Year for 2024. Jess's dedication to excellence is evident in every endeavor she undertakes. Hi, Jess. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. So I know you a little bit, so this is making me really excited about you, but I did not know about your fitness awards. So congratulations, and I'm a little jealous. I could use a little fitness myself.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your background and what led you to real estate, what led you to fitness. Tell me all of that.
Yeah, so my background started when I went to university at Laurier for environmental studies and geography. I finished my degree and realized I didn't really like that line of work, and there also wasn't much in our area for that line of work. So I switched gears, and it really just happened that...
Recording in progress.
Oh, it is. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah,
so you switched. So what made you choose to switch from environmental? Because I remember when you were going to school and you worked really hard for that degree.
I remember bartending and working evenings and nights and days. So we decided to switch because I couldn't find anything in that line of work. And that's when actually my husband came home and said, well, why don't you open a store? Of course, I said, what are we going to sell? It happened at the time that we had 200 sheep. I know, it's the funniest story, I swear. So, I fast forward 5 years, we had 4 businesses. We owned a 200-member gym, a 200 sheep farm. I had an organic food store, and we had my husband's tree removal business. And we had 2 kids at the time. And I also had always taught fitness. It was always kind of my side thing. I taught at the gym that we had, and I always want to scale my fitness a little bit more. And it really just happened that my dad passed away, and we had the 4 businesses. We were flipping houses, and I remember coming home one day, and I put my hands up, and I said, sell them all, I'm done. Like, I had a 3-month-old at the time. We had about 20 staff members, 4 businesses. We were getting pulled in all directions. We were saying yes to too many things. And it was really that pivotal moment that I said, no, we need to focus on one thing. So we actually moved. We built a house, and we kept our old house as an investment property. And that's when we shifted to real estate, actually. So we sold all the businesses, moved, had 3 kids, and then started a real estate journey. So it was busy.
You were really busy. I remember when you started the Lamalicious, and I was like, wow, look at her go. Like, you just never stopped. You didn't, even when you were at school. So your mom is Terry Hastings.
Correct.
So I'm sure she was really happy when you came to her and said, okay, Mom, we're ready to hop on board. Did she help you? Did she help with your, influence you in that way? Or did you just see how successful she was and you thought, hey, this seems like a good route for us?
It's a funny question because a lot of people sometimes misunderstand how it kind of fell onto her lap. So we have been prospected for real estate many, many times, and I always said no because I understand the real life in real estate and how intense it is. You're giving out weekends, evenings, nights, midnights, like you're traveling. And I didn't want to be away from the kids at that point of their age. So we
Mm,
actually continually said no. You know, Terry was always, I think you should think about this. I think you can make more money on a faster route, set the kids up longer, have more financial security. And of course, you know, you're young, you don't listen. So we did it the hard way. So when we actually moved, Adam was first to get his license because I actually decided to take a back burner on getting my license because it was just too much with dad passed away, having a 3-month-old baby, you know, selling all of our businesses, building a new house. Like
yeah.
it was just, if it's overwhelming hearing it, it was overwhelming living it. Um, so Adam was the first to get his license actually, and he was a part of Terry's team at that time. We actually received less leads than anybody else to what that we didn't know. We were setting ourselves up to show Terry that we had an organic business that we could float on our own. And then the second year, she approached us and said, I feel you would be a good fit. You've shown me you have an organic business, you're a leader, you can do this, you can manage the stress, and it is a better time for the kids as well. So that's kind of how we fell in the real estate. We had to do the trial and error first. It was, again, hard not receiving as many leads as everyone else and not really understanding why. However,
Mhm.
I look back now and think, yeah, you, I think you did the right thing because we had to show ourselves too that we don't rely on, you know, just because we're family, that doesn't really
Mhm.
mean much. You know, this is her blood, sweat, and tears that she poured into. So the person who purchased that business needs to be able to keep it going.
Yeah. Well, that was smart for your mom.
Yeah.
And you see, you got it from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So tell me some of the main influences in your life. We talked a little bit about your fitness journey, and I know you have Cedar Wellness. That's still your gym up in Wyerton.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about that and what influenced you to go the fitness route as well.
Yeah, so what influenced me for the fitness route was when dad passed away, my son at the time, who was 4, had anxiety and he wouldn't go to school. So it was really difficult. I'd be standing at the doors for hours trying to get him in the door. Finally, I just said, you know what, this isn't working. And my background with my yoga training and all of my fitness training is actually trauma-informed classes and trauma-informed yoga. So I started learning more theory about the brain and a little bit more of NLP. And I kind of started realizing that I could bring this skill set into getting my son to go to school and my classes and real estate. So it actually, that's what inspired me to get into and build Cedar Wellness Studio. It naturally happened. I always wanted to do yoga. At the time, a while ago, I didn't have the funds to do it. So when dad passed, I said, I'm going all in and doing whatever I want, whenever I want it. And the first thing was my yoga training. So I did that. I actually wrote a book, Back to School Anxiety for Kids, A Parent's Guide to Helping Our Children Worry Less. And that was, you know, I always joke with my son, he goes, you can thank me for that. Because it was basically about him and the struggles and how he finally got him to go to school. So that's what inspired me there. And the, you know, the mentors in my life, I have 4. I have a lot of life coaches, business coaches who teaches me on mindset, growing a business, leadership, and numbers. We work on our numbers and math a lot. So I have coaches that are Keller Williams coaches specific. I have life coaches. My one coach is a keynote speaker, a facilitator internationally that she took us on. And of course, Terry, because she's very, very strong in business. So when I look at numbers, it's intimidating sometimes, but I know I'm doing it with the best person possible. So those are my mentors, those 4.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about your one book, but you're actually a 2-time Amazon #1 bestseller.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what you said your son inspired you to write your book, and I read your book. It helped
Good.
me with some of my struggles with my boys because they have anxiety too. So it was really helpful, and I highly recommend anybody that has a young child that suffers from anxiety. It's a really good book and it's a really good read. But can you tell me a little bit about the other book that you wrote?
Yeah, so it was actually one day I was at the table and I said, "Oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great if we had other people come and collaborate with us and write a book about their story in real estate?" A friend of mine who I team up with, she has a not-for-profit organization and she did one. So I said, "Hey, can I grab that contact?" I threw it out to the team. I threw it out to some realtors I know. So it's called Real Estate Success Secrets. And it's about other realtors coming on and talking about their successes, their struggles, their triumphs, their challenges. It's really inspiring because it's a very big variety of people from I have people who've come from overseas. I have people who are like the top team of EXP. We have the top Keller Williams team. It's not just our team, it's different people from different brokerages. And it was really, really inspiring and it hit home. Everyone wrote such wonderful chapters. And the goal of it was to help share again that real world real estate because sometimes it's kind of painted to us as like sunshine and rainbows, selling sunset stuff. But that's not really the real way. That's not the real life of it. So the goal to bring these stories in was to shine a little bit more on, this is real struggles. This is real successes. This is what real estate is really about sometimes.
I love that. What made you decide to write the first book? Like you tackle so many different challenges. You're like, I'm just not going to be a realtor. I'm going to run a gym, and then I'm going to be a best-selling Amazon author.
Yeah.
So what makes you know that you're juggling so many balls all the time? How do you handle that?
Well, I think it's my personality is an I, which is an inspiration, like inspire. So for me is if I can help, my goal of the first book was if I could just share with someone one tip or one tool and it would change their way or their day, because no one should ever have to go what we went through. Like for one whole year, every morning, standing at that classroom door for about an hour and a half, listening to your child scream and not go in and then they get behind and then you have to figure out and then you have a 3-month-old at the time. Like it's just no one should ever do it. So if there's tools and skills that you can learn and I could teach other people, then why wouldn't I do that? So that's kind of where the book came from.
I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. You want to help. Um, Tell me a little bit about, like, you talked a bit about how your father passing changed your trajectory in life. Would you say that was one of the pivotal moments where you're like, okay, things need to change?
Absolutely. It was
Yeah.
the moment. Like I
Yeah.
always say, before that, like I said, I wanted to take my yoga training, but I said, oh, we don't have enough money, so I'll wait. So when dad passed, there is no more waiting. There is no
Mm.
more fear. Like I'm going all in everything I do, every minute, all the time, no matter what. And if I mess it up, I get up and I do it again. And if I screw it up, I get up and I do it again. And the goal of that was after you realize when you make that shift, you think, why didn't I just do that earlier?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. You always need that push, and then once you have that push, you're surprised you didn't do it before. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I know that you and Adam are very actively involved in the community. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the initiatives that you guys have done in our community and why you enjoy giving back so much?
Yes. Well, I enjoy giving back so much because my goal is to always, what can I teach my kids? How can I teach my kids to be good humans? And giving back is nothing more than feeling good about yourself. So some of the initiatives we've done, oh goodness, we have over the last 3 years donated over $100,000 of donations to the community, Gray and Bruce. We have partnered with the homeless shelter, the Owen Sound Psychiatric Unit, the Salvo Family Health Team, the Pregnancy Center. We've also collected donations out front of the grocery stores, and my kids were always there too. So a lot of organizations or local small organizations too that need it, that don't get that large amount of funding like others do. Our goal is to always give in-kind contributions. There has been times where I've partnered with local businesses and we have gathered cash donations. I paired socks for 32 cents a piece. And I make my kids go shop. If we do get money, for example, a client from yoga was said, here's 50 bucks, let the kids go buy, and then that's my donation. So it's the kids inspire me. I make them like get in the car. You're doing this today. And then I'll tell you, some days they don't want to. I get it. They're tired. And then at the end, it's kind of intriguing because they come home, they say, Mom, I seen that donation at a friend's place at the doctor's office. They told me about it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or they'll come home with an idea. Can we go shop? I noticed someone in the school didn't have lunch that day. So could we shop for extra bagels for the breakfast program? So they're starting to connect the impact that it's having for their work and time.
I love that. You're creating awesome little humans to come out into the world. That's awesome. And that's the best we can do as moms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the first thing I say to my boys as they walk out the door every day, I'm just yelling, just be kind. I don't care what you do today, just be kind, because we need more kindness in the world. And I love that you're doing that too. That's great. So, what piques your interest or what's unexplored territory for you? I don't think you have any. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Yes.
Like you're going to be like, I want to be a fighter pilot. No.
Yeah, that's Adam, actually. Of course, right?
Yeah.
For me is I've always wanted to do a TED Talk or a TEDx talk. So I am starting to get my application together and figure out my topic and find a coach. Very early in the stages, but my goal is to share some of my lessons and skill sets on stage. Because I'm finding people are now coming to me, what do I do? My son's not going to school. How did you do that? Or even with real estate, how did you do that? How do I get deals in my first year? So the two are just starting to naturally people come. So my goal is if I can hit a broader scale, talk to more instead of individuals, then maybe I could also help more.
Is that part of what influenced you to start the podcast?
No, the podcast was just because I like talking to people. Yeah, it was kind of a thing. We said we've always wanted to try it and do it. And then we said, yeah, no, it's going really well. I like connecting with people. For example, I did an episode 2 days ago and he was from Manhattan, New York. So I thought that was pretty neat. And now I have connections in Manhattan and now we're connecting online. We're going to refer if we ever have clients, right? So it just, you never know who you're going to meet. And that's always exciting for me.
What is the podcast real estate?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That's awesome. And you do that with Alexa, right?
It's on my own now. So it's
okay.
$1 Million Realtor podcast, and it's to teach realtors how to get more buyers and sellers.
Oh, and where can people find that if they wanted to listen?
So we're on all platforms, Apple, Spotify, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome. A TED Talk. Oh, I'm interested. I hope good luck. I love TED Talks. They're one of my favorite.
Everyone always says, good luck with that.
No, I don't mean it that way. I mean, like it's inspiring. Like TED Talks are great, and I think you would be amazing at it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can you tell me whose shoulders you're standing on? Who, like you followed a little bit in your mom's footsteps, but you mentioned your dad too. Is there a significant person in your journey that has really influenced you on this path?
I honestly think the kids have, like with Colby being the first, because their kids are 4 years apart, that's what inspired me to write a book and then talk about, anxiety and teach trauma-informed yoga. And then we had Arkel and Nash, and they taught me more about giving back and how to include them in more. Because I got thinking, why don't we sometimes include our kids in more of the things we do and more of the conversations we have? And we started doing that more often. Like we teach our kids to have a business plan with their money. They go over their goals weekly. Well, they're supposed to. And to, talk about their future. Like I could have a conversation with my oldest right now about real estate and you could understand what he talks about. And he's 13. So he knows buyers and sellers, how to negotiate. He knows because we teach him this, right? So our goal is that's whose shoulders I'm standing on is the kids. My goal is I love teaching them. I love mentoring them. I love showing them different ways and also mindset, being 13, 9, and 5. Oh dear, it can get intense sometimes, right? So teaching them mindset at this age, at the level that we've already been taught, that's pretty cool because I can see it already in the sports that my kids play and it's interesting. Yeah.
Now you have the passion for the real estate, the passion for fitness. You're an author, you're a podcaster. Is there one that you enjoy a little bit more than the others, or are they all equal? What if you could say, all right, I'm just going to focus on one thing besides the TED Talk? What would
Um,
you be focusing
it'd probably be real estate because it's opened the doors for me to speak, to teach business. Like I love teaching business. I love watching people grow. And it also has opened up more community involvement. The studio is how my community involvement started, but now it's kind of snowballed into more of I needed a bigger net for people to help. And that was a team, that was more community members. And so now it's kind of shifted to real estate. So I would say, speaking and writing are definitely the top two, and just sharing that message. So I think real estate opened those doors a little bit more. So I'd say that.
on? Awesome. I love that. Um, Tell me what you've learned about yourself on this journey.
Hmm. For me, it's always to use fear as a motivator. I think when dad passed away, that's where everyone's like, how do you just do all these things? I'm like, of course I feel fear, but I'm not letting it hold me back anymore. And if anyone's listening and you're on the edge of your seat thinking like, I want to do that too, you have to let fear walk beside you and not in front of you. And you will find what you want if you let fear just be the motivator.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because when I think of fear, I I get scared. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just it takes a lot for someone to walk with your fear. Tell me a bit about how you accomplish that because
Yeah,
most people run.
I get up and try. And if it doesn't work, I try something new. And if it works, I got over my fear. Worst
Wow.
case scenario, what do you think will happen? And can you manage that worst case scenario? Most oftentimes, when you think about it and you're in parasympathetic nervous system, you realize, oh, well, it's not that bad. I can do that. And then you get up and do it, and you're like, oh my God, I did it. So you just broke a barrier, and then you go into the next one.
I love that. That's a TED Talk, Jeff.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any main barriers that you found the hardest on your journey to overcome?
Yes, I would say overcoming the expectations of others. So when I'm a big visionary, I would say there's always someone whispering in your ear, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And all that is their fear, not yours. So what I've learned is to just put the blinders on and focus and go do what I want, how I want to do it. And again, if it doesn't work out, worst case, can I manage with that? Right? And that's really what I've learned. And I've stopped worrying about what other people think, what other people say. I don't ask for opinions. I don't ask for what their thoughts are. And if I do, it's really very like one or two people, and it's usually my life coach and my husband.
It's always the husband, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any thoughts or any plans on writing a third book?
Yes, I'm already halfway done it.
Oh, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, the topic keeps changing a bit. Originally, I said, wouldn't it be great if, I blog and I'm in magazines, if I could bring all this content to one spot together. So I did that. And then I thought, well, for the price of the book, I might as well keep writing more because that really only gave me about 3 chapters. So then I started writing more. I think I'm about 20,000 words in. So it kind of, it's about experiences that I've had through real estate, through raising the kids in Cedar Wellness Studio, my dad passing away. And it's kind of like a skill or a lesson learned in that chapter that relates to real estate. So I've narrowed down a little bit more of a clear topic, more like resources for realtors, or again, the title's not picked, but the goal of it is to use storytelling as a way to share what I've learned because, being Terry's daughter, I've had a front row seat to some of the top producing realtors in the world. And I thought, wouldn't that be great if I'm able to share that knowledge again? So I've taken, skill sets from that, from what I've learned on my own as well, and from all my coaching, the kids, dad passing away, and just kind of mashed it into one. So each chapter is about, it could be mindset one chapter and an example and the challenge and how we overcame it. So I'm excited. It's taken me a little bit longer on this one because the other second one, the launch, it took a bit too. So we're getting there.
Oh, it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it. And will we be able to find that on Amazon as well once you're done?
Yeah, Amazon, Indigo, and Barnes and Noble.
That's amazing. I do want to know a little bit more about your CanFit Pro Professional of the Year for
Yeah.
2024. How did that come about?
Yeah. So I have been nominated in the past a few years, I think 3 years in a row, and it's very, very competitive. I think the gentleman, when I met him on stage, the owner said there's over 300 applicants. And the first year I applied, I got an email saying you need to apply 2 years in a row. First years don't get it. So I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So then I was nominated again for the second year, and I think I was very close because I got another email. And you have to get really good at writing out your applications. You can't miss anything. It's a mark system. And then this year I was nominated again and placed first, which was exciting. And for me, again, it was bringing the kids to watch a parent walk across the stage and receive something for all their hard work. So my kids were front row. We also had the opportunity to listen to an Olympic champion gold medal speak. And my son especially really hit home because he's huge into sports. So she was talking about the time that she failed, she's supposed to be gold medal for Canada, blew it, and then the whole world to her just dropped. So yeah, my goal was to get the kids in there to see that, to see a parent walking across stage and know that that can be them. They have these opportunities too.
Oh, I love that, Jess. You're such a good example I love that. So if you had advice for someone who's trying to find their voice or trying to find their way, what would your advice be?
Yes, it's always go all in, be bold, take risk. You have to go for it. Wake up every morning and think, am I going to go all in today? And the answer is yes. And whatever that means for you is what you're going to do. Because think about it. Would you want to wake up and think, oh man, I missed that opportunity. I didn't really go all in. No, you don't. You are going to get up. You're going to go rock it. You're going to inspire people and you're going to be amazing no matter what. But you have to show up and implement the strategies, get the coach. And I think the biggest thing I can tell anybody is you have to take action. I could teach you skill sets all day long. However, if you're not implementing those actual strategies, the two need to go hand in hand. So you have to implement.
I love that, Jess. We're almost out of time here. It goes by fast, and I've enjoyed speaking to you so much. I thank you so much for joining me today on Her Story. I'm going to end the program by encouraging you by encouraging you to encourage yourself or someone you know to get more involved in your community. Find that spark that ignites you, whether it's writing a book or preparing a TED Talk, on your path to create your own story. And as the great Walt Disney once said, all of our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them.
Yeah. Aw.
Thank you, Jess, so much for joining me today. I've had a blast.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect